Let me explain something to you. I am a vintage, mass-marketed children's toy from the 80s. Standing right in front of you. I'm new and improved.
How's it hanging, Phil?
What's up, guys, and thank you for tuning in to another Chucky video. We're taking a look at Trick or Treat Studios' newest in their 1-to-1 scale Chucky line. That's right, today it's the Ultimate Chucky. The box has Child's Play 2, and there's definitely some Child's Play 2 in there. Kind of gets some Child's Play 3 vibes. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, this is their first live Chucky from the original trilogy, and this dude is just mean looking. I know what everybody's excited about, so let's go ahead and get this started with. And that's obviously the box. So if you watched the unboxing, I already kind of went over this. Let's go ahead and just take a quick look at it. Because I really like it, I think it's super pretty. So it's a beat up, bloody, kind of fucked up good guy doll box. It's got some bloody marks on it, some handprints, some just violence on it. Again, I love that sticker right there, that Playland Toys clearance. This thing was not $99. What the fuck? You got some torn cardboard aesthetic up there. You turn it around. You got some water damage printing. Just some really dirty, nasty looking stuff. But it is a nice box. It's always great to get an actual full size, or at least close to full size, box of a good guy doll for this guy to come with. And for anybody who cares, here is both boxes. This is the good guy doll box that comes with the Ultimate Chucky. This is the good guy doll box that comes with the original good guy doll, at least the Kickstarter version. So this is both doll boxes next to each other. The main difference is, I mean, this one's a regular good guy doll box. This one's all bloody and fucked up. This one isn't. So the main thing here that I think is interesting to note is my main complaint with this original box was that it was too narrow. It was too, it didn't have enough width to it, because the original good guy doll's face was kind of pressed against this plastic. At least mine was when I got it. And this one, similarly to the Seed of Chucky Chucky doll, the Seed of Chucky, whatever, from Trick or Treat Studios, Chucky, whatever. The Stitch Chucky from Seed of Chucky, the Kickstarter, that box was a bit wider. And this one, I don't know if it's as wide as that box, but this one is wider than that. So for anybody who cares, this is the box. We're going to go ahead and take him off his stand. Now, again, I talk about them in every single Chucky video, at least so far at the Trick or Treat Studios ones. These are the same doll stands I always use. These are the Chubby Waisted Kaiser doll stands. The link for these are on Amazon. They will be in the description. I use them for all of my Chucky dolls, except for the plush one because it doesn't work. So the first thing I wanted to cover here is the body. So the same as all of the Trick or Treat Studios Chucky dolls, any of the family, they all come with this padded foam body with this bendable skeleton on the inside. This Chucky seems to be using the same wireframe. The wireframe was adopted, I believe, for the Seed of Chucky dolls, and then also, I think maybe retroactively for the good guy, but I only have the original good guy that uses that, like, it uses this. It had kind of like this Gorilla Pod armature where the joints actually work on this completely flexible ball joint skeletal system, whereas the new ones is pretty much just a bendable hook wire. And it feels like we're still rocking the wire with this. That is a welcome change. That, you know, Gorilla Pod structure was a good idea, but this one feels a lot more solid. Now, the one thing about this doll, foam feels a little bit softer. He feels like he has a little bit more give when you squeeze him as compared to the Seed doll or the Good Guy doll, at least on my versions. And it might be the foam, or it could be the way the head is constructed, but there is something about this doll. This guy actually feels a bit lighter in hand. I don't know if he's missing more of a centered mass. I really don't know what that is. But his movement still is all the same. You're gonna want to be careful with this. You can tear the foam body underneath this if you are too unsafe with it, if you're too rough with it. If you do it too often or do it too far, you can rip the foam body that is underneath this. So you just want to be careful. You want to feel underneath the arms. You can lift this arm up. You can do any of that stuff. You can bend this right down here. You can move him, but you have to be careful. The foam on this, to be frank, is not the strongest, and I've had a couple of tears on most of my Chuckies. It's not the end of the world, but you should be cautious of it. The main problem that I run into with that is the legs. So these, again, have these really good divots in the hips. You can bend his legs. You can sit him down, but you're going to want to be careful. The main thing that I've run into on on one of my dolls actually is the back and the butt. Pulling this foam up separated it from the inside of that divot still, and still split on the inside of the hip. I still had to get in there and glue that back together. So the main thing that I stress to folks on these dolls is be extremely careful when posing them. I will compare the two later, but he does, as far as the clothes and shared parts, he does have essentially the same knitted sweater on the underneath. It is knitted just like the original Good Guy doll and the Stitch Chucky. It is not printed like the recent plush doll. He also has these actual printed, I don't know if they're actual denim or jean or what, but he does have these actual printed overalls as well, very similar to the original Good Guy doll they released. He does still sport the same red shoes, same detailing on the bottom. Again, these are pretty much the same. The paint on them is a bit glossier, at least the red, kind of a pristine red, but yeah, his shoesies. And his hair. So I really think it might have taken him a few dolls. When it comes to Trick or Treat Studios dolls, the original Good Guy doll hair, mine was fine. I know some people's had problems. The Seed of Chucky hair was alright. Tiffany and Glenn's were fantastic, and I know that some folks did have some issues with the longness of the plush Good Guy doll. When it comes to this one right here, I did trim it up just a tiny bit just to shape up some random frayed edges, but out of the box, after doing some tapering with it, it looks wonderful. I think this is probably my favorite out of the box look, at least for a Chucky. Again, Tiffany and Glenn, in my opinion, their wig pieces were great, but as far as a Chucky, this one really sells it. I have no want or desire to want to replace this at all. I think they did really good on it. There's definitely an argument that, you know, there's a little too much weight, heft, volume back here, but again, it's easier to take away than it is to give, and I think just the shape of it really sells it. Now, the main thing that makes this guy, again, different from the original Good Guy doll is this face sculpt. Now, the box does say Child's Play 2. That is the main license that they have for this doll, and I don't disagree. There is some Child's Play 2 in this. I remember when this was revealed, I made a video talking about it, and I said in the video that this looked like Child's Play 3. It's not to say that there is no Child's Play 2 Chucky in this. I really do think, you know, it doesn't not look like Child's Play 2 Chucky. Just, in my opinion, it does look more like Child's Play 3 Chucky. But hey, whether you agree or disagree with me about how he looks, you can get some great Child's Play 2 looks. You can also get some great Child's Play 3 looks. Especially with the modular system they're going to be using, you're going to be able to get the pizza face accessory to be able to replace the head for a genuine Child's Play 3 head coming up. So they are covering all the bases. Who cares? Now, speaking of that swappable gimmick for the pizza face from Child's Play 3, that is the main thing this Chucky can do. He's all about modularity. He's all about advancement, because this guy could be the Chucky of the future. So this just has a really simple stem and magnet system on all of them. So you can take the hands right here at the base where they connect at the foam body. You can rotate them, by the way. I didn't cover this earlier. You can rotate the hands. And also you can rip them off. So there's no locking system with a peg or anything. It is just magnet on magnet. You slide it in there. The doll out of the box comes with a knife holding hand and a fist. There will also be a Good Guy headset with hands to make him a regular Good Guy doll. And again, there will be the pizza face that I believe comes with another fist and also comes with a middle finger hand. At least at the moment, that's what it's supposed to come with. Now, the terrifying part about this, and if you're like me, my main thing with these dolls is I will use the neck. It kind of looks a little promiscuous, but usually when I grab these dolls, I'll usually buffer their butt with my hand to make sure they're stable, and I'll use the neck because that's how I move them around. That way, you know, you get a pretty good handle on them, moving them that way. This one, you don't want to do that, because if you do that to this neck and you try to put all the weight on that, you're going to just rip the head right off. But don't worry, it's supposed to happen, but you do not want to be trying to pick the doll up and then the body fall on the floor. I've almost done that. And this is what you are looking at with the removable swappable head feature. This is super cool for a ton of reasons. Again, the main reason said for it because of the functionality. You'll be able to get new looks for your Chucky doll. Instead of buying another $500-600 doll, you can just buy a head and put it on this body. Perfect. And you can get so many looks out of this. You could get the original live look of the, you know, when he comes alive in Child's Play 1 where he looks a little bit more human. They could do either the Good Guy doll from Curse of Chucky or the stitched head from Curse of Chucky, since that body did not have stitches. They could do the TV show doll, either the live Chucky or the Good Guy. They have tons of dolls they could do with just this body. And this obviously just slides back on. There's a magnet in that base there. There's a magnet in the heart of the socket of his head, and you pop it back on there. You're gonna have to futz with the collar. I'm gonna do that off camera real quick. And now for his final gimmick, which in my opinion is the piece de resistance of all of the shit that he does. It's a feature I was obviously excited about when reading about it, but having it in hand just hits so much different. This is super fucking cool. And so what you do is he has this entire crown of his head back here, this wig, which by the way, no seam in that really at all. That is integrated so beautifully. You just grab this cranium back here. There is a thing back here you can grab, but there's so much hair it's hard to find. But it's fine, you can just grab back here and just rip the back of his skull off. Back of his cranium is a plate that's magneted on. Again, this is a singular, like a two separate wig piece that looks singular. Look at how that just goes right back on. You can't even tell that that comes off. There's the little string dongle for you to be able to pull off, but you can never find it because there's so much hair. And inside the head, you're gonna find this creepy, ghoulish, hollow system. Looks like something out of like Skinameric. And it is this ball and post system, and it is to be able to control the eyes. So when people come over and they're not freaked out enough the fact that you have a Chucky doll or 5 of them, this one can follow them around the room. This is super fucking cool. Now it's kind of funny because this is a gimmick that a doll could do. This was originally announced, at least the first doll that I saw announced that was going to be able to have a feature like this wasn't even Trick or Treat Studios. It was NECA's dolls that were announced in 2019, and those dolls did maintain that feature. I hear they're coming soon. My Tiffany should be on the way soon, and she did maintain the posable eye gimmick. So I'm really curious how that one differs, how different they are. I don't know if they do the head splitty thing, so we'll find out later. But yeah, the fact that Trick or Treat Studios doll can also do that is really, really slick. Again, I don't know how Tiffany's works. It looks like you can do them individually. It doesn't work on both of them the way this one does, but again, this is not a Tiffany review, it's a Chucky review. And the amount of like just silly, goofy poses or just like kind of like sinister, snide things like, and I love all the just the simple things he can do, just the way he can roll his eyes. He's just, this is a great feature that now I look at my other dolls and I'm like, damn, why can't they do that? Now they're gonna get me for another like $2,000 to update their dolls with movable eyes. Fuck. Now as far as other accessories you can get for this guy, later you will be able to buy alternate head, alternate hands, all that type of stuff, but you can get this right now. This is the voodoo knife. This voodoo knife is made specifically for this Chucky. Now Trick or Treat Studios has made several of these. They made the foam one, which was almost like comically large, and then this one is not from Trick or Treat Studios, but this one is from Spirit Halloween. This is the one that I and a lot of people usually tend to use, and even still the Trick or Treat Studios one still is probably a much better size. I still like this one. It's kind of human sized, I guess, a little cartoony, but this one's nice. It's very sleek, it's very doll sized. I love how this looks. It feels great to hold, so if you ever want to do a type of Chucky or Charles Lee Ray cosplay, this would work perfect for it. And this thing's only like an extra 10 or 15 bucks. So the way this thing works, I'm just gonna go ahead and pop his hand off. So somebody actually pointed this out to me in the unboxing comments when I was talking about it. So the original prototypes, if I'm remembering correctly, this thing had like a magnet in it, and you would like pop out the square in the hand and you'd be able to like magnet this in there and they didn't do that. This is all just pure friction the way they did this. So I don't even know, this doesn't come out, and I don't know if there's even a magnet in there. So either way, they changed that, it seems. Again, I could have imagined that, had a fever dream, but you can just squeeze it inside the hand and it holds it very, I don't like how promiscuous this review is, but it's very sturdy for the doll to be able to hold his knife. So I think he looks really great with it. It just very emotive with it. I don't usually like give my Chucky dolls any props because the good guy doll, he has the regular good guy hands. The Seed of Chucky doll has the stunt like kind of straight hands, so you can't really do anything with that. So the fact that this one can get really expressive with a knife, and they made a knife specifically for him, is super cool. You can flip it around, he can hold it regular ways, he can hold it long ways, vertical ways, hamburger ways, hot dog ways. Like, come on, when you can move the eyes and he has a knife that looks like that, this thing is gorgeous. I am blown away with this release. I always like their Chucky dolls, but this one just really struck a chord with me. The last main thing I want to do here and cover is a comparison. So this is the new Ultimate Chucky with Trick or Treat Studios' original classic boy. This is the Kickstarter version of the good guy. And for the main differences, you'll see where they share the clothes. The shoes are sensibly the same. His are a bit more of a deeper, brighter red, the Ultimate Chucky's that is, and his overall overalls are dyed a bit of a darker blue. So these are really the main visual differences with the overalls. The other thing I do want to point out, this was kind of contentious with the Good Guy doll. Mine came okay, but some of them came messed up. The Good Guy font, or Good Guy writing. So one, the font on this looks a lot better. The way this says Good Guys as compared to this. Let me show you that. There we are. So the Good Guy font on this, it doesn't look bad, but it's not the most accurate. So, and then the other thing about this, the real kicker with this, is that it's a bit low on the actual pocket. This one fixed both issues. It's a perfectly accurate font, at least from what I can tell from the movie photos. It looks like everything that's always on the boxes and the merchandise. This looks perfect and it's greatly centered. So big improvement on that as far as at least how these were stamped and everything. To be frank, that's really not a knock on this doll. This doll, even all these years later, this doll's about, what, 4 years old now? It's still great for a retail piece. In order to get to something like this, we had to go through this. I'm wording this like this is bad. I don't think it's bad at all. I love this doll again. But I can't help but point out some of the inaccurate things about him now compared to the new one. That's the great thing about hindsight. You get the new thing, you can look at the old thing. It doesn't make the old thing bad, but then again, it's also YouTube. So if I don't establish that, yes, I do still like this, they're gonna say, why do you hate it so much? But this is incredibly satisfying to be able to have an actual Good Guy doll with an alive Chucky, again, based on the original Child's Play trilogy, is magnifique. And to close it off, I had to get the money shot with the entire Trick or Treat Studios 1-to-1 scale replica catalog. So it's no secret that I love these dolls, I love the entire series, and each of my reviews of them are going to be pretty positive. The Trick or Treat Studios is going to have to fuck up pretty hard, knock on wood, for me to really get mad at them. Now, it's no secret that I do love this line a lot. I love every single release. Every single release has been good to me. It's not to say every single release doesn't have flaws, but I definitely think the pros outweigh every single one of the cons. It's important to still talk about the cons for people to make their decision, especially while more Chucky dolls are making their way to the market right now. So it's very important for people to shop around and see which one works for you. And right here, you can see several, even if just Chucky, that will work for several different people. You've got folks who want a high-end Good Guy doll that looks really good. You want folks like me who grew up in the late 90s or early 2000s that recognize the Stitch Chucky look, and that's the one that they want. There's folks that are on a budget and really like the original and just kind of want something as a decoration, so they're going to go for the plush Good Guy. Or they like when Chucky comes alive and they're going to go ahead and get the one where you can pose the eyes and use him to scare the shit at everybody in your house. Or you're going to get Tiffany because Jennifer Tilly. But up until this point, it has been really hard for me to say which one do I think is the best? Which one do I think brings the most to the table when each and every one of them brings something entirely different? And now looking at all of them, it truly feels that each and every single one was a stepping stone up to this. I have to say, ultimately, in my opinion, Ultimate Chucky reigns out as the #1 release from Trick or Treat Studios' Chucky line. I know he's the newest, I know there's things like recency bias, but I've had him now for a couple of weeks. I've really taken my time with him, really tried to compare him to the others and see how I feel handling him. Again, the presentation that I was given when I got him. And how much you can do with him, his display ability, the fact that you can move his eyes, the fact you'll be able to modify him, be able to turn him into other Chucky dolls with these modular parts in the future. It feels like you haven't even gotten the entire play package when you've purchased this thing. Yes, folks will complain that you have to pay extra money for those doll heads, but things cost money. There's nothing really we can do about that, but even still, $600 gets you a complete package here. You don't have to go out and buy those head and hand sets. So if you're somebody who is looking to start this collection, you could cut everybody out and start with just this guy, and there's a good chance you'll be able to recreate looks like the Good Guy doll already announced. And like I said earlier, maybe they'll make the stitched head from Cursive Chucky, since that one doesn't need a stitched up body. The future is bright, the possibilities are endless, and I'm super excited to see what this means for Trick or Treat Studios 1-to-1 scale Chucky line. I'm curious to see where else it can go, what other dolls they can make, and I'm also curious, do they really have more dolls planned in their future, or are they really hoping on the modularity of this guy to really propel everything? But hey, they like money. I'm sure they're going to be churning out more 1-to-1 scale full-size dolls, but I'm just curious to know, do they have anything planned? Now, I did hear they do have the TV series license. I don't know if they're going to plan their own doll for that, or if they'll just do the actual head and hands for this. I don't know if they'll think, will making a different styled head for this doll sell? Because I know there's people like me that look at this doll and say, well, he's a little Child's Play 2 and a little Child's Play 3, People comparing the micro differences, everything between the Cult of Chucky Good Guy doll to the Curse of Chucky Good Guy doll. Whereas the general audience might look at that and just say, yeah, that's Chucky. And there's still tons of dolls they could do. They can make, they can make Tiffany and Chucky from Bride of Chucky. They can make, the burnt Chucky from Child's Play 1. They can again make they can make Glenda. They can make Gigi. They can make so many different types of things with these, and all of the versions of Chucky you can make with just a head and hand set now. It's wonderful. I'm babbling on, I'm sorry. It's just when you spend $600, and that's the retail price, when you spend $600 on something and you take it out of the box, play with it, put it on the shelf, play with it again, review it, and you still feel like you have more to look forward to because of the other stuff that are going to come out for it, that's just really nice. The presentation and actual value of this thing and what you'll be able to do with it is just unmatched. So I'm super excited to see what Trick or Treat Studios has up their sleeves. I'm super excited to see what anybody has up their sleeves. I hear that there's another Chucky replica on their way to me from another company soon, so we have that to look forward to. I'm so stoked to get my hands on that thing. It looks awesome from what I am seeing. If you would like to see my thoughts on her coming up here, guys, I should have her within the next week or two. Hit the subscribe button. I got more Chucky coverage coming at you in the near future. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Hell, share this video with your friends if they're curious which Chucky dolls they should pick up. If you guys have any questions about Ultimate Chucky, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Be happy to get back to you as soon as possible. Next time should be taking a look at NECA's Tiffany. So until then, you guys be safe, have a great day, and thank you for watching.